Here are some 5 very necessary ways to automate the revenue in your business so you can stop being exhausted, angry at the fact that you're working 10, 12-hour days, and so you can start being refreshed, energized, and start creating even more revenue in your business. Now, if you're pumped about creating thousands of dollars more of revenue in your business, go ahead and comment automation down below and let's get started. And now the name of the game is time freedom. And this first way that you can definitely create more revenue and free up a lot more of your time is with funnels. And there's so many different types of funnels out there that you definitely need for your business. And I see this common mistake over and over with newer entrepreneurs and business owners and people starting to generate revenue in their business. They think, you know what, I need my website first, like my, for example, name.com or business.com. So for example, my website is marisaromero.com, and that is the home base of my business. So that is where people can go and get to know me, who I am, what I do, things that I offer, some testimonials, some background, a bio. They can look at my business toolkit. They can also see my blog where I have different articles about the business, etc. So your website is like your home base to your business, right? But your website is not a sales funnel. I repeat, it is not a sales funnel. And so many people don't understand the difference between the two and why it's very, very, very important to focus on your sales funnel first before your website, in my opinion. So if you get up a website, perfectly fine. I just know from experience, the first 2 years in business with my personal brand, I did not have a website, and I was able to produce a good amount of money, my first 6 figures actually, with no website. And I was able to do this all with the power of sales funnels. So a sales funnel is something that takes a potential customer, a viewer, etc., through a process, whether that's a buying process, whether that's a nurturing process, whether that's a sales webinar funnel, whether that's a lead magnet sequence. The list of opportunities and types of funnels is endless, and that's what actually makes it super exciting. And so I want you to think about one thing here, like the term mini retirement, which is actually a term introduced by Tim Ferriss back in the day when he launched his book, The 4-Hour Workweek. And this is the concept of where during the year, instead of like waiting until you're 65 to, take a full retirement and not work at all ever and hang out and have cocktails and margaritas at the beach and just, lay out by the sun and do nothing all day, which can probably get boring after about a week, week and a half for most of us. The idea of a mini retirement is that you're able to take 2 to 4 weeks completely off 2 to 3 times during the year. So that way it's like every maybe quarter, or whenever you want to schedule this in your year, maybe after the first quarter, you take a month-long sabbatical and you're able to just completely disconnect and be refreshed and have so many new ideas and hit the ground running when you come back to work. This to me is more of my ideal type of retirement, to be able to enjoy life and do those types of things and vacation and travel and see the world now as opposed to later. And circling back to funnels, funnels are definitely the foundation and essential to you being able to take these mini retirements in your business. And so let me give you a quick example of a type of sales funnel that you can start implementing right away. I love teaching it. It's actually the #1 most profitable funnel in our business, and that is the lead magnet funnel, where it's a simple opt-in to your lead magnet, which is a freebie. It could be a calculator, a cheat sheet, an ebook, PDF, you name it, any type of freebie that is positioned with high value. And people are like, give me that freebie, I'll give you my name and email. That is absolutely perfect. So the idea of your freebie is that it is sales driven, so high value and sales driven, to eventually position your lead to want to buy from you later. So the idea is they opt in on a landing page, and then the thank you page is like, hey, thank you, go check your inbox because your freebie has now been delivered. But the idea and the power in this funnel is not in the first 2 steps. It's not in the landing page or thank you page. The power is with the autoresponder you set up afterwards. So the emails that follow up after the first 5 to 7 days is super important, because you're nurturing your lead or your new email subscriber that is now on your list. They're getting to know you, your story, the value you have to offer, and they're getting to know your brand, your business, and your company. And through that email sequence, you are able to offer, let's say, maybe consultation calls. You're able to have a call to action for them to watch your Masterclass. You're able to have a call to action for them to buy one of your mini courses or something like that. The options are completely endless and flexible, and that's why I say it is highly essential for all business owners, no matter what type of business you have. Even if you have a brick and mortar business or you're selling online digital products, the lead magnet funnel is definitely essential. By the way, if you're loving this video, you're a full-time YouTuber with a mission-driven business behind your YouTube channel, you definitely want to check out the 6-step blueprint, which is located in the first link in the description. You're going to learn 6 steps of pure strategy, and also you'll discover the #1 mistake that I see full-time YouTubers making over and over again by not having this one thing. And also you'll learn the key mindset shifts when wanting to create your dream CEO calendar. And most importantly, you'll learn about the #1 tool that helped me go from overwhelm and centralize my business, and most importantly, streamline, systemize, and be able to scale over and over and over. So I find it extremely helpful. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and download the Subscribers to Sales Blueprint with the 6 steps in the description and grab your copy today. All right, so the next thing that's essential to automating your business revenue and really growing and in fact scaling is hiring a team. Now, almost all of us start out as a solopreneur, and this was definitely me when I first got started because I knew for sure I did not have any money to hire a team. And it was me just doing every single thing, administrative stuff, customer service emails, just going through emails, content creation, sales funnels, marketing, automation, blah, 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 you name it. Like, it was me doing all the work, even my video editing for my YouTube videos. Can you believe it? Like, I was literally working 13, 14-hour days sometimes, and it was exhausting. And so when you think about, I know it's scary, so many solopreneurs and even entrepreneurs that have small teams, 1 to 2 people or members of their team maybe, it's very scary hiring somebody because, you know, first of all, it's like if you're a, you know, control freak at first because your business is your baby, right? Your business is your baby, and you're like, like I can't trust somebody with outsourcing this thing because they won't know how to do it my way. It's very scary at first, but you have to let it go. It's the hardest thing to go through and hire out people in the beginning because first of all, it's not like you're a human resources expert and know how to hire. So that part is a challenge in itself. But I would say the more specific you can get on a job post, the most descriptive you can get. Put your heart and soul into writing that description out and imagine your dream future team member is reading this like, yeah, I'm jumping at the opportunity. That is a mindset you have to have when you're hiring. So even when you're hiring, I use Upwork to this day to hire people out. I've used Indeed.com. I've used, you know, my Instagram to make an announcement that I'm hiring. So it's a process, but definitely worth it, because when you can win back 5 hours of your week and, you know, outsource that to somebody else. If you can win back 10 hours a week and outsource the video editing to your YouTube videos or your content creation, that is huge, okay? Because that's 10 more hours that you can spend on anything else, right? Like the more income producing activities, that 20% of activities that you do that really matter and move the needle in your business, that's where you can focus your time and energy once you hire out one thing at a time. And I know for me, the first thing I hired out, the first thing I hired out was my video editing, because my videos were getting, you know, longer and longer for me to edit because I am not a video editor. I didn't go to school for it. I had to self-teach myself everything that I knew in the beginning. And so I'm like, you know what? A video editor knows what they're doing and they can do it much better than I can. Okay. And then the next hire I made was a virtual assistant. It was kind of like a Jill of all trades type person. This person was helping me with customer service, answering emails, organizing things on the back end, helping me with my Facebook community, so many things that I didn't have to do. Now the team is much bigger, and if you're interested in getting a breakdown of my team now, check out this video right here, the day in the life video I just made about how I operate my business, how I'm a mother, CEO, content creator, how I get it all done within a week. But definitely, if you're trying to go from 4 figures to 5 figures and 5 figures to 6, hiring is going to be essential, because once you hire, I guarantee you're going to tell yourself, why didn't I do this sooner? That's always what I told myself whenever I hired somebody new on my team, is like, man, if I would have hired this person 1, 2, 3 months earlier, well, the things that could have gotten done, and etc., etc. All right, and so the next piece of the puzzle and way to automate your business and make thousands of more while working less is to focus on a membership-based business model. Now, what is this? This has everything to do with recurring revenue. In my opinion, recurring revenue, aka automated revenue, is the best type of revenue you can have in your business because why? It's predictable, it's stable, and in the long run, you're able to scale that revenue much easier than you are like a product or a service that is only one time, and it's not a price point where you're able to charge over and over. And so I highly believe this is the new way to go, or the best way to go for business owners. And so for example, I always tell business owners or entrepreneurs like, hey, you should definitely be promoting affiliate products that offer a subscription-based model, because then that way you're earning affiliate commission, and that's predictable money in your pocket every single month. And so the good news is, if you are creating content for free in your business, it's never been easier to create your membership-based video creation business and monetize your content by allowing you to package up your video creation and sell it in the form of a membership. All right, so the next thing that's really, really, really important to automating your business is standard operating procedures, aka SOPs. Now, this might seem a little bit daunting, especially if you are early on and don't have very many team members to help you with this, but basically SOPs are essential to documenting all the workflows and all the processes, all the systems in your business, so that way it's easier to hire as people come and grow and as your company grows in the future, right? Because, let's face it, people will be onboarded in the future for that same position. And if you have documentation in place, it's way easier to train somebody and have them go through that stuff step by step, as opposed to you having to take the time to do it one-on-one and show them everything by hand per se. So SOPs are very, very important. This is something you can do and host within like Google Drive or Google Workspace, and you can use a tool like loom.com to screen record the process of maybe you showing a website or how to use your merchant account or something that you're demonstrating within one of your tools that you use. So that way it's clear, you do it one time, you don't have to do it again. And the person that comes in that position can update the SOP as necessary. But SOPs are also very, very important to the future if you ever decide to sell your business, because without an SOP or without this type of documentation, you can't sell your business, right? So if you ever wanted to build up a business and the eventual plan was to sell it, these are absolutely essential to doing so. The next thing that is essential to automating your business is your systems, okay? Systems are absolutely necessary. And what do I mean by systems? Well, you're a business owner, entrepreneur, but you're also perhaps a mother, a father, a sister, or maybe you are involved with your kids' activities. I know that I'm a brand new mom, and my brand new baby boy, Kai, comes first, over everything. As a matter of fact, Kai did make his appearance in today's video. Let's see what he had to say. You want to say hi to YouTube? Say hi, YouTube. Hola. Do you want to be a YouTuber? He just woke up from a nap. Hey, I think he does want to be a YouTuber. And so anyways, as I was saying about systems, there's this quote that I absolutely love, and it reads, "You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems," by James C. in the book Atomic Habits. And what this means is, for example, I'm a YouTuber, I make content. It's not every day that I'm super motivated to get on camera. And so those days that I'm not super motivated to get on camera, it doesn't matter, because it is my routine and it is the habit I've built or the system that I've built in order to incorporate content creation in my life, which makes it easy to do over and over again. So I have a process, I have a workflow for YouTube content creation, so that way when I go and get in front of the camera, I know exactly what to do so I can get in and out. I know the workflow, my team knows the workflow, and that's how we're able to streamline things and also save a lot of time and energy during the week, because we got my process and system nailed down. So this is what you're going to have to establish, not only for different systems and workflows in your business, but also with your life. So you're going to have to figure out how to time block and segment things and incorporate habits for, let's say Monday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 8 to 10 in the morning, you dedicate to your health, right? Maybe that's when you do your workout. Maybe that's when you prep your meals or whatever it is. And then from, this time to this time, you're doing these types of income producing activities, whatever it is. You can make your schedule, but the important thing is to keep going with those systems, because your systems, like anything else in your life, the more you do them, the more you're going to refine them, and the more efficient you'll be, and you'll be able to get better and better and better. All right, thanks so much for checking out today's video. If you've made it this far, go ahead and come with me, check out the video coming up next, which is all about how I made my first $100,000 in my first year as a YouTuber, as a small creator. That video is right here. Just click and I will see you on that video. Breaking down how I made my first 100K on YouTube, let's go. So what's the trick from going from $0 to 100K on YouTube in your first year? Hey,